Commander Rear Solis stood at the edge of the orbital command deck, watching scattered clouds drift across the blue horizon far below. The sun's light touched the curve of the planet, a thin gold line marking the border between day and the unknown. Normally she loved this view, quiet, grand, almost comforting. Today it felt like the last peaceful moment she might ever see. Fleet sensors picking up anomalous signatures, Lieutenant Orin called from the console. His voice cracked despite his attempts to steady it. Multiple contacts. They're not ours. Rhea didn't move, but her jaw tightened. How many? 40, no, 60 ships. And growing. She finally turned, boots thudding against the metal floor. Put it on the main display. The holoscreen ignited with a spread of violet lights, sleek, angular formations moving with an eerie unity. Even without magnification, their silhouette was unmistakable. The Galactic Concord. A coalition so ancient its members barely remembered life before it. To most species in the galaxy, they represented order and security. To Rhea, they were something else entirely, an authority that believed Earth was too volatile to chart its own path. Signal incoming, Orin said. Wideband broadcast aimed at the entire planet. Let's hear it. The air vibrated as a deep harmonic tone preceded the message. A calm, resonant voice filled the deck. People of Earth. You are advancing into regions that threaten the balance of the galaxy. Your expansion must cease. Further development of unauthorized FTL systems is prohibited. Compliance is mandatory. The crew exchanged uneasy looks. Rhea simply stared at the hologram of the fleet. She recognized the ship class leading the formation, the Chiron Seraphim design, commanded by none other than Archon Vila. She'd seen that hull once before, the same day she lost her father to what the aliens called a corrective action. A cold weight pressed against her ribs. The broadcast continued, unwavering. You have been classified as a species requiring containment. The Guardian Intervention Protocol will be enacted immediately. Rhea cut the channel. Orin, what's their vector? They're surrounding Earth's orbital gateways. Every ring is being locked down. They've positioned cruisers above the equator and both poles. He swallowed. It's a full blockade. A silence settled across the deck, not fear exactly, but a stunned recognition that history was pivoting, and they were standing in the hinge. Commander Idris Hale, her second-in-command, approached with a data slate. His voice dropped low. Headquarters wants confirmation. Are they actually doing this? They wouldn't appear in formation unless they were committed. Rhea scanned the slate, though she already knew. The Concorde has been warning us for years. Warnings aren't blockades, Idris said. Rhea looked out the viewport. The alien ships hung like dark stars, motionless, deliberate, forming a cage that reached from orbit to the far edge of Earth's exosphere. They've decided we're a problem they can't ignore anymore. Idris exhaled sharply. Earth isn't ready for this. Earth has never been ready for anything, Rhea replied. That's never stopped us. A small alert pulsed on her wrist console. High priority. She accessed it instantly. Emergency summon. Global Defense Council Rear Solis required immediately. She stepped toward the lift, but Idris caught her elbow. Whatever they want, be careful. Political rooms sometimes do more damage than fleets. They won't get a chance, she said quietly. Not this time. The council chamber was a storm of conflicting voices, scientists demanding caution, generals urging defiance, diplomats begging for negotiation. Earth's nations had unified for defense, but unity didn't erase fear. Rhea entered, and the room settled. Admiral Kessler, stern, silver-haired, always composed, gestured her forward. Commander Solis. You've seen the situation. I have, she said. And I assume you already know who's leading the blockade. A few murmurs rippled across the room. Archon Vila, Kessler confirmed. The Concorde's senior enforcement strategist. Rhea's expression barely shifted, but her voice cooled. He's not interested in dialogue. He claims to be preventing instability, said Minister Ravel, glancing nervously at the projection of the alien fleet. That's their way of saying they don't trust us, Rhea replied. They never have. So what do you propose? The minister asked. Rhea didn't hesitate. We need information. Before we decide anything, we must understand their intent, their weaknesses, and their willingness to escalate. Send scouts, intercept transmissions, gather intelligence. We can't negotiate or resist blind. The room considered her words. Kessler folded his hands. Your ship, the Resolute, is already outfitted for deep space reconnaissance. Can you mobilize immediately? Yes, she said. But if the Concorde detects us, they'll assume we're preparing for war. They already assume that, Kessler replied. Go. Learn what we're facing. Rhea nodded. Understood. As she turned to leave, Minister Ravel called after her. Commander, what if they're right? What if humanity truly is a threat? Rhea paused at the doorway. Every species is a threat to something, she said. But no one has the right to decide our future for us. Hours later, the Resolute drifted away from Earth under silent engines, slipping into the shadow of the far side of the moon. The alien fleet remained on the opposite horizon, unaware of the small vessel sliding beyond their focus. Rhea stood on the bridge, hands clasped behind her back. Engage stealth fields, she ordered. A soft vibration passed through the hull. Course set, Orin said. We're moving away from the blockade perimeter. Good, Rhea said. Let's stay invisible. Idris stepped beside her. Think the Concorde knows we launched? Not yet, she replied. But they'll figure it out sooner or later. He studied her face. This is personal for you, isn't it? Rhea didn't answer immediately. She glanced at the stars, cold, far, open. When I was 13, she said softly, the Concorde targeted a research station my father worked on. They claimed they were preventing a breakthrough that endangered galactic stability. They called the destruction precautionary. Idris's expression darkened. I'm sorry. I don't want revenge, she said. I want truth. If they're acting out of fear, we need to know. If they're hiding something bigger, we need to know that too. Orin interrupted. Commander, long-range scans picking up encrypted Concorde transmissions. They're coordinating something. A deployment pattern. Rhea stepped toward the console. Put it through our decoders. Let's see what they're planning. The Resolute moved deeper into the dark, drifting between distant stars. Earth shrank behind them, wrapped in the silent cage of the blockade. The galaxy waited beyond, vast and indifferent. Rhea tightened her grip on the railing. Whatever they think we are, she whispered, they're about to learn who we choose to be. The hunt for answers had begun. The Resolute slipped through the edge of the blockade's shadow, its hull wrapped in a field that bent starlight and scattered heat signatures. The crew worked in tense silence as the ship coasted farther from Earth's immediate reach. Every meter placed them deeper into territory the Concorde monitored relentlessly. Rhea stood behind Orin's station, scanning the encrypted streams pouring through the console. The Concorde's network formed a lattice across the region, streams of data, tactical updates, and internal fleet traffic. All of it encrypted. All of it confident. They never imagined humans could breach it. Orin frowned. Their encryption updates every 6 seconds. I can break the outer shell, but the inner layer is alien architecture. We've never seen this type. Then start learning it, Rhea said. Every lock has a pattern. Idris approached from the rear consoles. We mapped a structure ahead. Artificial. Small. No thermal activity. Looks like a relay station. A Concorde one? Rhea asked. It matches their signature. She considered the projection. A lonely object hung near a dead moon just outside the main fleet patrols. Too small to house troops, too far to serve as a primary node. Could be an archive, Idris said quietly. A place to route data they don't want exposed. Rhea's pulse quickened. Orin, a line for a stealth approach. Keep us below their sensor band. The Resolute glided toward the dim shape. As they approached, the object resolved into a metallic spire embedded in drifting rock, 4 arms radiating from a central chamber, each lined with antennae and crystalline nodes. A data vault, Orin said. Definitely Concorde design. Encryption looks even heavier around this region. Can we get inside? Rhea asked. Not from here, Orin replied. But if we can slip a drone close enough, it might breach the outer layer and mirror the internal files. Prepare one, she said. Idris, keep watch for patrols. Minutes later, a drone detached from the underside of the Resolute, no larger than a crate and coated in reflective plating. It drifted toward the vault, moving without propulsion until it latched onto an external port. Orin's fingers danced across the controls. Drone linked. Starting infiltration. Rhea lowered herself into the tactical chair, bracing for what she hoped to find and what she feared she might. A pulse of foreign symbols cascaded across the screens. Orin's code cracked one layer, then another, until finally a flood of internal Concord archives burst onto the display. Idris let out a stunned breath. They kept all this hidden. Rhea leaned forward. Open the first file. The screen shifted to a series of simulations, models, predictions, branching timelines. Each run tracked human technological progress against Concord benchmarks. Orin translated the alien script. They've been forecasting our development rates for centuries. Every model ends with humanity surpassing them. Idris scrolled through another file. This one project's conflict scenarios. Their fleets lose every time by year 2300. Rhea stared at the projections. Humanity rising, adapting, advancing faster than any other species. Play the next one, she said. A hologram formed. Archon Vila appeared in a recorded briefing, his voice colder than the broadcast Earth had heard hours earlier. Humanity is the only emerging species capable of bridging ingenuity with destructive potential. Their creativity accelerates exponentially under pressure. If they continue unregulated expansion, they will destabilize every system we govern. The recording shifted. The Guardian Intervention Protocol must be sustained indefinitely. Containment is essential. Their independence cannot be allowed. Idris clenched his jaw. Containment. Not protection. Fear, Rhea murmured. This isn't about safeguarding the galaxy. They think we're a threat to their dominance. Orin opened another file, one older than the rest. Its title translated roughly to Origin of Concern, the Fire Species. It documented humanity's first warp experiments. The Concorde had been observing since before Earth knew aliens existed. Every step, every experiment, every failure, every success had been catalogued in eerie detail. They predicted our leap to faster-than-light travel with almost perfect accuracy, Orin said. They've been preparing for this moment for generations. Rhea exhaled slowly, absorbing the weight of it. All her life she had sensed a shadow behind the Concorde's actions. Now she saw its shape clearly. They don't fear our weapons, she said. They fear our potential. Idris nodded. And they intend to cap it forever. Before Rhea could respond, a shrill alarm erupted across the bridge. Orin's eyes widened. Patrol ships incoming. Small formation, closing fast. Rhea snapped upright. Cut the drone link. Retract it now. I'm trying, Orin said. They detected a data spike. They're scanning the vault. Hide the drone in the rock crevice, she ordered. We'll retrieve it later if we survive. The drone released its latch and drifted behind a ridge of frozen stone just as the first patrol vessel glided into view, a sleek blue craft with spiraling fins. Its sensors swept across the vault, pausing on the sector where the drone had just been. Hold breath, Idris muttered. Hold everything. Another ship joined the search. Their beams crossed, scanning, probing, analyzing. Rhea kept the Resolute tucked behind the moon's shadow, engines silent, hull temperature dropping to match the rock. A voice suddenly filled the bridge, not from their speakers, but through an open Concorde frequency. Deep, composed, unmistakable. To the unauthorized vessel observing our operations, reveal yourself. I know you are there. Orin stared at the console in shock. That's Vila. His broadcasting wideband. Rhea felt her pulse thud in her ears. You believe stealth will hide your intentions, Vila continued. But your species leaves a distinct pattern: impatience, curiosity, defiance. I can sense it as easily as heat. Idris whispered, he's taunting us. He wants us to respond. Rhea shook her head. He wants confirmation. He's not getting it. Vila's voice persisted, calm and unwavering. Humanity, your pursuit of forbidden knowledge is misguided. You do not comprehend the consequences of your expansion. Compliance ensures survival. Resistance ensures ruin. Rhea stepped toward the viewport, watching the patrols creep across the surface of the vault. Open a private channel, she said quietly. Orin hesitated. If you speak, he'll lock onto our position. Engines whispering to life. Rhea looked out at the stars ahead. Now we expose them, she whispered. The galaxy deserves the truth. He already senses us, Rhea replied. I want him to hear something. The channel opened. This is Commander Rhea Solis of the Resolute. If you believe you understand humanity, she said, your archives are flawed. There was a pause, a long, cold moment suspended between species. Commander Solis, Vila said, you have always been a complication. Only to those who fear what they don't understand, she replied. You misjudge us, Vila said. We fear nothing. We simply act. Then act, Rhea said. But know this, we don't break because someone orders us to kneel. A beat of silence. Then, unexpectedly, Vila laughed. It was not warm. It was an acknowledgement of conflict becoming inevitable. We shall see. The channel cut. Patrols moving off, Idris said. He called them back. Rhea turned to the display of stolen files. The truth spread before them like a jagged map of fear and prophecy. Orin, she said. Secure everything we pulled. No one on Earth knows the real reason behind the blockade. It's time they did. The Resolute disengaged from the moon's shadow. The return journey toward Earth felt heavier than the outward flight. The Resolute carried no physical cargo, yet every member of the crew sensed the weight of what they had uncovered. The truth rested in the ship's data core like a live charge, volatile, undeniable, impossible to ignore. Rhea stood at the front of the bridge, arms folded, gazing into the blur of distant starlight. Her expression was unreadable, but Idris could see the tension in her posture. When she focused too deeply, her shoulders stiffened slightly, as though bracing for another unseen blow. They'll react violently when they realize we accessed that vault, Idris said quietly. You know that. Rhea nodded. Vila already suspects. That broadcast wasn't posturing. It was a warning. And now, he asked. Now we prepare for consequences. Orin, absorbed in decoding the deeper layers of the stolen files, looked up. Commander. I've translated an older segment. It's worse than we thought. Rhea approached his console. Orin expanded a document showing the early days of humanity's technological rise. The Concorde had monitored every shift energy use, population patterns, industrial outputs, cultural changes. They didn't see Earth as a world finding its place. They saw a species sharpening itself. What's their conclusion? Rhea asked. Orin hesitated. That humans evolve even under destructive conditions. They think conflict accelerates our breakthroughs. Rhea skimmed the passages. The Concorde feared not humanity's aggression, but its ability to grow stronger because of it. Idris let out a slow breath. So they believe the worst version of us is inevitable. They're afraid of what we might become if left alone, Rhea said. Not what we are now. Orin tapped another file. There's more. This one lists proposed enforcement measures. A chart unfolded a catalogue of escalating actions, supply chain disruption, orbital interference, targeted strikes, population pressure. Idris's jaw tightened. These look like strategies for slowly suffocating a civilization. Containment disguised as guardianship, Rhea murmured. Before she could say more, the ship's proximity alarms blared. Orin swiveled to the sensor display. Incoming warp signatures, multiple flashes. They're appearing between us and Earth. Rhea's eyes narrowed. Display. A cluster of Concorde vessels materialized ahead of them, larger and more heavily armed than the patrol craft they'd evaded earlier. Their formation blocked the direct route home. They moved fast, Idris said. They're tightening the net. Rhea straightened. Plot a course around them. We're not engaging. Orin's fingers raced across the controls. Secondary route set. But Commander, long-range sensors show another group behind us. They're trying to trap us. They expected us to run, Idris said. Then we won't, Rhea replied calmly. Cut speed to minimal. Shift to silent drift. Give them nothing to track except a fading trail. The Resolute dimmed its engines. The hum of the core softened until it became nearly indistinguishable from silence. Only the faint pulse of life support remained audible. For a moment, the bridge felt like a held breath. Orin watched the screen intently. Front group is scanning the region. They haven't locked onto us yet. Hold course, Rhea said. Stay between sensor cones. Minutes crawled by as the Resolute ghosted through the narrow pockets of unmonitored space. The alien ships drifted with mechanical grace, their passes sweeping dangerously close but never quite intersecting with the human vessel. Finally, Orin exhaled. They're moving away. Looks like they think we doubled back. Rhea allowed herself a single breath of relief. Good. Once we're clear, bring engines to quarter. The tension eased, but only slightly. Idris folded his arms. If they're willing to commit this many ships, Earth is next. They've already made their decision, Rhea said. We just forced their timeline. Orin turned from his station. Commander, assuming we reach Earth, what happens then? The government might freeze, argue, panic. They might even consider surrender. Not after seeing that footage, Rhea replied. They'll understand exactly what the Concorde intends. Idris studied her closely. But what do you intend? Rhea glanced at the display showing Earth, still distant but glowing faintly against the black. Freedom. Nothing more. Nothing less. As the Resolute neared home space, the alien blockade grew sharper on their sensors. The Concorde had tightened their positions, ships layered in readied formations, weapons primed but not fired. For now, intimidation carried more weight than open force. Orin frowned. Commander, I'm detecting energy traces along Earth's orbital ring. Not Concorde signatures. Human ones. Rhea's pulse quickened. Put it through. The projection updated, revealing a line of human defense vessels positioned just inside the blockade. Their cannons weren't charged, but their stance was unmistakably defiant. They're preparing for conflict, Idris said. They're preparing for survival, Rhea corrected. The ship's comm system chimed a burst of encrypted human frequency. Resolute, this is Earth Command. Respond immediately. Rhea opened the channel. Command, this is Solis. We have data you need to see. We've been under continuous pressure since they arrived, Command replied. Civilians are in shelters. We've already had one orbital incident the Concorde calls an accident. We need answers now. You'll have them the moment we dock, she said. But be warned, everything you think you understand about this blockade is wrong. There was a brief pause, then Command replied with renewed tension. Understood. Proceed. The Resolute cut through the blockade's perimeter by drifting within the blind zones mapped on their earlier pass. The Concorde ships didn't fire. They simply watched, silent and imposing, as if marking the human's choice to return home. Rhea didn't look away. She met the alien formation with steady eyes, refusing to acknowledge intimidation. Orin spoke softly. I keep thinking about the simulations we saw. They think we'll eventually eclipse them. They're not wrong, Idris replied. We've done it to ourselves for centuries, fall, rebuild, innovate. It's the one thing we excel at. Rhea turned from the viewport. They fear the part of us we barely understand. The drive that survived wars, disasters, extinctions. The thing that gets back up when it shouldn't. Orin nodded slowly. The fire in us. Rhea placed a hand on the console. Exactly. And they believe that fire will consume everything. But they never considered another possibility. Which is? Idris asked. That fire could guide instead of destroy. The ship began its final descent toward Earth. For the first time since the mission began, Rhea felt not dread but clarity. The Concorde had made a miscalculation. They believed humans were unpredictable, uncontrollable, dangerous. But they had never seen what humanity became when united under threat. The galaxy was about to learn. Earth's night side glimmered beneath the Resolute like a mosaic of fragile lights, cities bracing for conflict, continents holding their breath. Above the atmosphere, the blockade tightened. Concorde cruisers drifted into precise formation, a ring of cold intent encircling the planet. Rhea stood on the bridge, observing the pattern. The formation wasn't purely defensive, it was preparation for forced compliance. The fleet waited for one final justification. "We have minutes," Idris said quietly. "Maybe less. If they conclude we accessed their archive, they'll escalate." Rhea turned to Orin. "Transmit the data package to Earth Command. All files. All recordings. Everything we pulled." Orin hesitated. "Commander, once this goes out, the Concorde will know we shared classified material. They'll treat it as an act of rebellion." "They already have," she said. "Send it." The encrypted burst shot toward the planet. Seconds later, Earth Command responded, their tone transformed, shaken, furious, galvanized. "Solis, this changes everything. The Concorde's been planning containment for generations. They fear our future," Rhea said. "They want to stop it before it forms." "Human Defense Network is mobilizing," Command replied. "We will not yield." Rhea ended the transmission. The bridge lights dimmed as the Resolute shifted to combat readiness. Idris approached. "If this becomes a battle, we're outgunned." "We don't need to win," Rhea said. "We need to break their certainty." Orin glanced back. "They're hailing us." "Direct channel." Rhea straightened. "Put it through." The viewport darkened, replaced by Archon Vila's imposing figure, tall, crystalline armor reflecting violet light, expression unreadable. "Commander Solis," he said, "your defiance was expected. But the extent of your intrusion was not." "You forced our hand," she replied. "No. You forced ours." His gaze sharpened. "You accessed origin files no species outside the Concorde may ever see. That violation alone mandates intervention." "Your intervention is oppression," Rhea said. "Disguised as protection." "You misunderstand," Vila replied. "Humanity's potential is extraordinary. Left unchecked, it becomes catastrophic. Potential isn't a crime. When it destabilizes entire systems, it is." Rhea stepped closer. "You've never tried to understand us. You only predicted outcomes and feared the ones you couldn't control." Something flickered behind Vila's calm exterior. "Not anger, recognition. Your simulations don't frighten us," Rhea continued. "They inspire us. Growth is not a threat. But your fear is." Idris whispered under his breath, "Careful." Rhea ignored him. "Withdraw," she said. "End the blockade. Or face a species that doesn't break." Silence stretched across the channel. Then Vila replied with quiet certainty. "You leave us no choice." The transmission cut. The Concorde fleet began to charge weapons. Alarms pulsed across the bridge. Multiple energy spikes. Orin shouted. "They're preparing a coordinated strike." Idris looked to Rhea. "What's the plan?" Rhea's voice steadied. "We show them what they've underestimated." She activated shipwide comms. "Crew of the Resolute, we stand at the threshold of something far larger than ourselves. The Concorde believes fear can dictate our future. Today, we prove otherwise." The engines flared. "Orin," she said, "upload the tactical disruption pattern." Orin hesitated. "Commander, that algorithm was experimental. It's untested." "Our entire species is untested," she said. "Run it." Orin executed the command. A web of countersignals rippled from the Resolute, fracturing the Concorde's synchronized targeting grid. Their formation wavered briefly, but long enough to matter. "Idris, take us between their midline ships." "On it." The Resolute shot forward, threading a razor-thin gap between two cruisers. Alien weapon beams fired late, missing by narrow margins. Orin grinned despite the tension. "They can't predict our motion." "Humans rarely behave the way logic expects," Idris said. The battle erupted around them. Human defense ships launched from orbit, swarming into protective arcs. Concorde vessels countered with chilling precision, their movements coordinated like a single organism. Yet somewhere in that unity, hesitation grew. Rhea saw it instantly. They're confused by our improvisation, she said. They planned for resistance, not creativity. As the fleets clashed, Rear opened a wideband channel to every vessel in orbit, human or alien. This is Commander Rear Solis, she announced. The Concorde has hidden the truth from you. Their containment of humanity is not protection, it is fear. I am transmitting their classified simulations now. Orin sent the feed across all frequencies. Holograms of Concorde predictions filled comm displays, humans surpassing alien innovation, outrunning galactic powers, reshaping destinies not with war but resilience. Shock rippled through the open channels. Even Concorde officers hesitated, their discipline fracturing. Idris watched enemy formations falter. They're losing cohesion. Truth disrupts more than weapons, Rear said. Suddenly, a massive glare filled the viewport. The flagship Seraphim descended from the upper layer of the blockade, Vila's personal vessel. Orin paled. He's moving to engage directly. Let him, Rear said. The flagship opened communication again, unfiltered, unmasked. Vila's voice carried a weight no modulation could hide. Why expose this now, Commander? Because your people deserve the truth, she said. And so does ours. You jeopardize stability. You confuse stability with control. A pause. A long, measured breath from the alien commander. You believe humanity's fire is a guiding force, he said softly. But fire consumes. Rear met his gaze. Only when contained, she replied. Give it space, and it becomes light. For the first time, Vila faltered. His posture changed only slightly, but unmistakably. Behind him, the Concorde fleet hesitated, waiting for his command. Commander Solis, he said, voice lower than before, you have revealed truths older civilizations have feared for centuries. If we withdraw, humanity rises unchecked. Rear answered without flinching. We rise together, or not at all. Another silence. Then, in a tone stripped of arrogance. Very well. The flagship's weapons dimmed. Across the blockade, alien cruisers powered down, their formation loosening. Ships drifted apart like ice breaking from the edge of a thawing sea. Idris stared in disbelief. They're pulling back. Orin laughed breathlessly. They're leaving. They're actually leaving. The Resolute drifted through the fading blockade as the Concorde withdrew into the stars. Battleships that had once carried an air of inevitability now retreated with quiet resignation. Vila's voice returned one final time. Commander Solis. Humanity has won a reprieve, nothing more. The galaxy will watch your path. Rear replied calmly. Then watch closely. The channel faded. Earth's horizon brightened as dawn reached across the planet. Cities lit up not with fear, but with hope. Idris stepped beside Rear. It's over. No, she said softly. It's beginning. Orin joined them. What now? Rear gazed at the opening sky, the unblocked expanse stretching toward unexplored stars. Now, she said, we build the future they feared, one worthy of that fear. The fire in humanity had been acknowledged. And for the first time, no one stood in its way. If you'd like. Fire a full epilogue. Fire book title options. Fire a sequel outline. Fire character art prompts. Just tell me.